Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for another 1/12 scale figure unboxing and review video. And today we will be looking at this SKC SHADOWMOON from Bandai, and this is from the Kamen Rider Black series. Just to let you know that I picked this up from anime.com, and I will share the link down below in my video description. So for those who just start collecting Kamen Rider figures or SKC figures, just bear in mind that we already have the 1.0 and 2.0 version for this character down the line for the past few years. So I will be expecting upgrades from this figure in terms of proportion, articulation, the detailing and all of it, and hopefully we can get a best result from this latest edition for SHADOWMOON. So before we do that, let's take a look at its box art design, and afterwards we go to the unboxing segment, shall we? Let's go. So guys, this is the SKC standard box art. As you can see here, we have this black layering throughout perimeter of the box, and we have this figure at the front with a white background. We have the authenticity sticker over here. You can see that it's really hard to replicate that. And then we have the Tamashii Nation logo, Bandai logo, and then at the bottom here we have the S.H.Figuarts logo, character's name, S.H.Figuarts logo, character's name again side to side, and at the back we have this promotional image for this figure. And at the bottom here we have honorable legalese. I could not understand what they're saying here, and only warnings, 15 ages and up, and barcodes, Bandai Spirit. So without further ado, let's unbox this figure. When you open the box, you have this piece of paper, which is actually the manual to operate or handling all those interchangeable parts for your reference. And as you can see here, the figure looks very good. There is no damage or anything like that. I think it came perfectly fine. And the second tier we can see is this the interchangeable parts and all the accessories that he comes with. So guys, let's take him out of the box and see all the great details that he has to offer to us. So let's go. So guys, this is the overall package for this figure, and this is what you're going to get when you buy this figure. And my first impression for this figure is, I think I love the skin color to it. I love the finish coating, the silver coating to it. I just love the green punchy vibrant color on his eyes and his belt there. So that is pretty a very good execution over there. And then we have a very, I think, sufficient interchangeable hands. We have 3 types of saber over there, and then we have some interchangeable hip joint or waist joint over there, which we will explore it a little bit more later down in the video. But before we do that, let's take a look at the accessories a little bit more closer before we go to the figure details, shall we? Okay guys, the first interchangeable parts that we're going to discuss is these pairs of hands. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, including the one that is on the figure, 4.5 pairs of hands. This is the only part for him, pointy finger, and then this is for holding the saber. As you can see, it's a really nice fit over there. And then we have this open palm hands, and this is much more wide open and relaxed hands. The one is on the figure is the closed fist hands, as you can see that, and it's on a ball joint. But what took me by surprise is these pairs of hands. I don't know if I misread or anything on the promotional image. Actually, it's for Kamen Rider Black, and it's meant for, I think, holding. He can hold the saber with these hands. There is no problem with that, like this one. But I think it is meant for riding a bike. So maybe we are getting a new battle hopper down the line. So who knows? It just took me by surprise on this type of interchangeable hand. So it's pretty nice to have this one together with SHADOWMOON, but I think it should have been included for him previously. but maybe it's just Bandai wanted to surprise us. Next up is this sabers over here. We have 3 types of sabers, and this one is much more identical. The difference on the length and its proportion, maybe this one is a little bit more scaled down, and this one is totally different kind of design. As you can see here, it has a pretty nice detail to it. The paint application is on spot, on point. It doesn't smudge or anything like that. So I really love this kind of blades over here, red blades, and this one has a little bit highlight to it on the blade. You can see that, very nice touch. I do applaud Bandai having this kind of high quality on applying the paint on the accessories over here. So really kudos to them. So yeah, okay guys, this is the last accessories for him. I don't know what to call it. Maybe it's a swappable hip or waist joint for him, and it's connected on his waist and his thigh over here, so you can actually pull out the leg, the whole leg over here, and the waist on this part. So yeah, and let's try to do that on the spot. All right, so before we do that, I suggest that you pack this head out first, because we don't want this antenna to be break off or anything like that, because we don't have any extra like the camera, the black. And then you just keep the hands upward position, and then you just start pulling on the thigh first, just like that, and the other one just like that, very tight. And this one you have to be very gentle, because it has some sort of a rubbery material onto it to hide all those articulation or the segment. And then what you can do is just pack this in and slowly tuck all the extra rubber to its part over here, so it may take a little bit more time. Right, just like that. And then you grab those leg back and just slot it in like that until you hear the pop sound. And before we take a look at a bit more detail on the accessories on the part, this is a very plastic part over here, as you can see that, and this is the one that is a very rubbery part, not like the default part over here, which is a hard plastic over here. So that is the only difference that we can see. And yeah, this one is much more rubbery, and you can pinch it down. It's just a thin rubber. So the thing is that when you pack these accessories, you can actually do some crazy poses to him. You can see that, like that. So yeah, you see that. So just be mindful on handling this part over here. You don't want to damage or break or crease this part over here. So that is just a note for you guys. So guys, let's jump up to the figure details, and as you can see here, this is the figure, looking very nice in terms of the proportion. I love the segmentation that they did for this figure. And let's talk about the head first. And as you can see here, you can see that it's a very nice head sculpt over there. It doesn't look too big or too small. It just fits very well with this kind of scheme. And I love how Bandai uses this segmentation to put this head together, and it doesn't go straight down. It has some sort of angular joint over there that is pretty neat. And I do have some smudge on this mouth area over there, as you can see that, just a little bit. And I love the design for the head sculpt. We can see all the detailing to it, and this vibrant green, punchy green eyes is very nice. I just love it. I just wish that we have some sort of extra antenna that we can get, but he's not included with it like the Camera the Black, so that is pretty a bummer. And I think from the body part over here, it's pretty nice. There's no smudge or anything like that. It's pretty clean. I love the silver coating to it, and the black, shiny black, glossy black on it is pretty nice. And you can see that this part over here on his arm over here, on his elbow, is a hard plastic, so you might want to be careful with that. You might damage it in time. For the belt here, you can see that there's a very nice detail to it. Viewing in a close-up view, you can see that there's a red, white and yellow button. It's pretty nice to have those kind of tiny little details, and they did a pretty good job there. And then this is the rubbery part that I just exchanged just now, and I just still maintain it on this figure. And then this is a pretty nice leg over here, and we have this very nice shin guard. At the back we have this articulated, what do we call this? I don't know what do we call this, but it's just articulate and very nice. And yeah, that's good. And what really I just wanted to comment that it looks a pretty hanging on there, so that is my only gripes on his foot area over here, ankle area here. I wish they could done differently, but this is what it is, right? So yeah, at the bottom here is just a flat surface. I wish we could have some of texture to make it much more realistic. So on the shoulder part here is the special one. We have the shoulder pad on top, and inside we have this rubbery type of material that covers all the articulation on the shoulder area over here. So we will uncover with the articulation, how does it incorporate with the articulation just a little bit later in the video. So this is a very nice figure in terms of its proportion, but it has some sort of maintenance that you need to give attention to it. This part over here and this shoulder part over here. So yeah, that is the only gripes that I have in mind for this figure. Other than that, I think it's a pretty solid detail. So that's about that. And for the articulation, we can see from the top that he has a very nice range over there, looking down and up that far, and then side to side that far. So it's pretty good. Rotatable 360, and the neck also has some sort of articulation there. It has a ball joint lower and upper neck over there, so definitely can make a very good range. So alright, and then at the shoulder here, you can see that this rubbery type of material is covering all the joints on the shoulder there, but it still can put his arm to that extent. You can see that, and then it also can be rotated 360. It does have this bicep swivel over here, and then double jointed elbow. As you can see that's pretty good. We have a ball joint on the wrist, so it can be rotated and then hinge, just nice. And then we have this butterfly joint, very good. But as I said earlier, maybe we could actually need to maintain this type of material so it won't crease too much in time. Or maybe just you could have another copy of this figure just in case, right? So in the middle section here we have a very nice articulation on the torso, but it's not that much because we have this belt over here. This piece is really hard plastic, so it wouldn't go as much as I thought it would be. And then crouching down also have some hindered on this belt area, and then leaning back that much, so that is far he can go. And then because of this rubbery type of material, we can actually put the leg as far as this range, you can see that, and then kicking backward, it's pretty nice. And then doing a split till this extent, that is pretty good also. And we have a very tight swivel at his thigh over here. And then we have this double jointed knee, and then we have, you can see that there's some part of die cast over there, right? And then we could actually do like the Kamen Rider Black. We can have a tilt on his knee over here, so that is pretty nice. As you can see that, maybe for, you know, do a kicking kind of poses like that, can get closer to the next leg. So on his lower leg over here, we have this articulated part over here, and then we have a hinge, and then we can actually pivot left to right, so that is pretty nice. So I think that is all about the articulation. Overall, I think it is pretty nice and sufficient for this character. I'm comparing him with the 2.0 version, and we can see the obvious difference in proportion and height wise. SKC looks more accurate to the TV series, while the 2.0 version is too skinny in my liking. But it did serve the purpose of being one of the best SHADOWMOON back then, and I think this SKC version definitely looks more superior now and up to date. Not to forget that the amount of detailing might slightly have the same quality, but accessories wise, the SKC version is more well included. For SKC Black, between them, I think he stood just a little bit higher, and I kind of like the scale, and I think it works pretty well, and I could not wait for the rest of the Kamen Rider Black series character to be announced in the future. And if you are interested in Kamen Rider Black, you can just check it out in my channel video listing for more information. So guys, that is all about that, and I don't have much Kamen Rider figures, for I have sold most of my Kamen Rider collection to compare him with. I think this will do for now. My final thoughts on this piece is the negative part with this release is on the rubber material on his shoulder and swappable waist part, which I think collector needs to do some damage control time to time just to maintain its material quality. I'm not an expert on that, but for what I heard, that applying some greasy substance on that surface might help on its longevity, or maybe getting some custom material by customizer out there. For the positive part, I think finally we have a very good SHADOWMOON to display him with the Kamen Rider Black, and like I said early in the video, that this figure as a whole package is one of the best SHADOWMOON in the market so far. Bandai did a really good job with him. I totally recommend this figure if you are a big fan of SHADOWMOON or just a Kamen Rider Black series fan in general. So guys, that is the end of my review. Do comment down below on what you guys think with this release, and feel free to drop by onto my channel, and while you are on there, do consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell notification button so you will be notified once my video comes live. Thank you so much for your time, and until we meet again in my next video, sayonara.